Here's the cold, hard truth. When a real crisis hits, it doesn't come with sirens or flashing lights. There's no warning, no time to prepare. It's quiet, eerily quiet. And while you're asleep, thinking tomorrow's just another day, the shelves are already being stripped bare. One by one, item by item, the essentials vanish before your alarm even has a chance to go off. By the time you notice, it's too late. This isn't fear-mongering. It's reality. When the system cracks, the first wave isn't chaos, it's absence. The things you take for granted, the stuff you assume will always be there, gone overnight. And here's the kicker. Most people won't even see it coming. We're not here to sell you panic or push some overpriced survival kit. This channel is about knowledge, raw, unfiltered, and actionable. Because knowing what disappears first gives you an edge. And in a crisis, an edge is everything. Today, I'm breaking down 7 critical items that vanish while the world sleeps. These aren't trendy gadgets or viral hacks. This is the real deal. Gear that turns into power when everything else falls apart. So, if you'd rather be prepared than left empty-handed, hit that subscribe button now. Wake up before it's too late. 1. The Unstoppable Prybar, your key to access and chaos. When people think of survival tools, they picture knives, multi-tools, or maybe a flashlight. But let me tell you something no one's shouting about. When the world goes dark and systems crumble, a prybar is the ultimate equalizer. It's not flashy, it's not trendy, but it's the tool that professionals grab before the masses even realize they need it. And trust me, when the shelves start emptying, prybars will be one of the first things to disappear. Why? Because when the grid fails, and you're faced with jammed doors, stuck windows, or locked vehicles, your bare hands won't cut it. A prybar is your silent enforcer. It doesn't ask for permission, it takes. It pops open doors, wedges stuck windows, lifts heavy debris, and breaks through barriers when nothing else will. It's not just a tool, it's leverage in its purest form. I've seen firsthand how critical a prybar can be. After a flood, I used mine to lift waterlogged doors and break into damaged cabinets to retrieve emergency supplies. In sealed-up buildings, it's been my go-to for wedging windows open to get fresh air. It's not just about brute force, it's about precision and power when you need it most. Here's the thing, you don't need a massive 3-foot crowbar. A compact 10-15-inch prybar is all you need. It fits in your bug-out bag, your car trunk, or even strapped to your utility belt. The best ones are forged from solid steel, with no weak points, and are double-ended for versatility. One end is perfect for lifting, the other for ripping, and both give you the leverage to handle whatever obstacle stands in your way. And let's not forget its value in a post-collapse world. A prybar isn't just a tool, it's a trade item. Someone stuck behind a jammed door? You've got the solution. Someone building a makeshift shelter? You've got the leverage. While others are fumbling with screwdrivers and rusted hammers, you show up with solid steel, and that earns respect. Personally, I keep mine wrapped in paracord for a better grip, and strapped securely inside my pack where it won't rattle. I've used it more times than my knife or flashlight because, in a crisis, access is everything. So let me ask you, do you have real leverage in your kit? Or are you banking on your bare hands to get the job done when the doors won't budge? 2. Bar soap, the unsung hero of survival. When the grid goes down and chaos takes over, survival isn't just about food and water. It's about staying clean, because hygiene isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. And let me tell you, bar soap is one of the first things to vanish when panic sets in, not the fancy scented stuff or those tiny hotel bars. I'm talking about heavy-duty, unscented antibacterial bar soap, the kind that keeps you alive when the world around you is falling apart. Here's the reality. When systems collapse, filth takes over. Water becomes scarce, hospitals shut down, and diseases spread like wildfire. A small cut can turn into a deadly infection. Diarrhea, skin infections, and open wounds become life-threatening. And without proper sanitation, you're not just uncomfortable, you're vulnerable. Bar soap is your frontline defense. It's compact, durable, and doesn't rely on fancy dispensers or plastic pumps. Unlike liquid soap, it doesn't leak, freeze, or require extra packaging. You can cut it into smaller chunks, stash it, trade it, and it still works, even if it's cracked or old. It's the ultimate no-nonsense solution. I've seen people overlook hygiene until it's too late. They stockpile food and ammo but forget the basics. And when the smell sets in and sickness spreads, everyone suddenly wants what they didn't prepare for. That's why I keep a dozen full-size, unscented antibacterial bars vacuum-sealed in storage. No gimmicks, no fragrances, just solid, long-lasting protection. In group settings, bar soap becomes leverage. When morale is low and hygiene is breaking down, pulling out a sealed bar of soap is like pulling out gold. People will trade food, meds, and supplies for it because staying clean isn't just about comfort. It's about survival. I've used bar soap in the field during drills to clean everything from gear to wounds. When water was scarce, I used just enough lather to scrub my hands, knives, and cookware. It's not glamorous, but it's effective. And when everything else fails, that small square of soap becomes your crisis control. So, here's the question. Are you counting on hand sanitizer and hoping for the best? Or do you have real, long-lasting soap in your stash? The kind that could be the difference between life and death when the outbreak next door comes knocking? 3. Pain relief creams, the overlooked lifesaver. When people talk about survival, they focus on the big-ticket items. Firearms, freeze-dried food, water filters. But no one talks about the one thing that can bring you to your knees. Pain. Not the emotional kind, the physical kind. The muscle strain from hauling supplies, the backache from sleeping on concrete, the shoulder pain from chopping wood. When the world shuts down, your body feels it first. And if you can't move, you can't survive. That's why pain relief creams are a must-have and they vanish fast. You might think a little tube of menthol gel or anti-inflammatory cream is no big deal. But wait until your joints lock up after a long trek, or your back seizes from carrying gear. In a collapse, there are no soft beds, no chiropractors, and no hospitals. A $5 tube of cream becomes your lifeline. This isn't about pampering yourself. It's about staying functional. Pain slows you down, weakens your morale, and clouds your judgment. In a survival situation, that's dangerous. Chronic discomfort can make you snap at the worst times, and in a group setting, it turns you into a liability. But with pain relief cream, you can keep moving, stay sharp, and get the job done. I carry 3 types in my med kit: menthol-based for quick relief, deep tissue salicylate for muscle pain, and lidocaine patches for targeted numbing. They're compact, lightweight, and easy to store. I've used them on long hikes, during drills, and in high-stress situations. When pain strikes, I don't wait, I treat it. Because losing a day to sore joints isn't just downtime, it's dangerous. And let's not forget the trade value. In a post-collapse world, pain relief is a luxury most people won't have. Show up with a tube of cream and you've got influence. You've got respect. You've got something people will trade food, supplies, or even protection for. So, let me ask you, do you have the means to keep moving when the pain sets in? Or are you planning to grit your teeth and hope your body holds out while the world burns around you? 4. The LifeSaving Whistle. Your voice when chaos strikes. Let's get real for a second. When the grid goes down, communication fails, and the world descends into chaos. How are you going to call for help? How will you signal across open terrain without wasting your voice or draining precious battery life? The answer is simple. You don't shout, you don't scream, you blow. A high-decibel, metal, P-less whistle is your lifeline. And when disaster strikes, this tiny tool vanishes faster than you'd think. Most people don't see a whistle as survival gear. They think it's for gym teachers or lifeguards. But in a world where yelling alerts threats, radios fail, and your voice can't carry through the noise, a whistle becomes your most reliable signal. It doesn't need power, it doesn't rely on technology, and it works even when you're too exhausted to shout. It's a tool that cuts through the chaos with precision and clarity. Here's the harsh truth. When systems collapse, people get separated. Families lose each other in blackouts, groups scatter during evacuations, and individuals fall into ditches, storm drains, or abandoned buildings. Screaming only gets you so far, and it drains your energy. But a whistle? It slices through the noise like a razor. 3 sharp blasts mean I need help. 1 long blast means I've found something. It's a universal language that doesn't fade under pressure. I always carry a metal, P-less whistle on a lanyard inside my jacket. Why metal? Because plastic cracks, and anything with a P can freeze or jam in extreme conditions. I've used mine during night drills to locate teammates in pitch-black forests. I've trained my family on whistle patterns because, in a crisis, panic erases memory. But those simple, sharp signals? They cut through fear and bring people back together. And let's not forget its value as a trade item. Imagine someone loses their child in a blackout or their partner in a smoke-filled building. You hand them a whistle, and suddenly, you're not just prepared. You're a leader. You've got the tool they didn't think to pack, and that earns you respect and influence. Here's the kicker. Most stores stock whistles by the dozens. Until the news hits. Then they're gone. And the people who didn't prepare are left shouting into the void. So, let me ask you. Do you have a whistle in your kit? Or are you counting on your lungs to carry your voice through the chaos? Because when the world goes silent, the person with the whistle is the one who gets found. 5. The tactical mirror more than just reflection. A mirror in a survival kit? Sounds ridiculous, right? Wrong. When the world collapses, a compact, polished mirror becomes one of the most versatile tools you can carry. It's not about vanity, it's about survival. This small, reflective surface can mean the difference between being seen or staying lost, between treating a wound or letting it fester. And when the shelves start emptying, mirrors are one of the first things to go. Most people think of mirrors as fragile, useless bathroom accessories. But in a survival situation, that flat piece of reflective steel is a game changer. It's a silent communicator, a medical aid, and a tactical tool all rolled into one. It doesn't need batteries, it doesn't make noise, and it works in ways no other tool can. Let's start with signaling. If you're lost in open terrain or trying to get someone's attention from miles away, a polished mirror can flash sunlight farther than your voice could ever carry. 3 flashes, pause, 3 more. It's the universal Morse code for rescue. Planes, search teams, even distant camps can spot that glint and know someone's out there. You can't yell that far, but a mirror? It screams across valleys and over ridges without making a sound. Now think about medical emergencies. You've got a cut on your face, something stuck in your eye, or a tick on your back. How do you handle it when you're alone? A compact mirror lets you see what you can't reach, turning solo survival into manageable field care. You can check wounds, clean injuries, and remove debris without relying on anyone else. I keep a stainless steel shatterproof mirror in my kit. It's wallet-sized, lightweight, and virtually indestructible. I've used it to bounce light into dark corners of damaged buildings, to scan behind me without turning my head, and even to inspect the contents of sealed containers by angling light inside. It's not just a mirror, it's an extra set of eyes, a backup light source, and a silent communicator. And here's the thing. When people realize their phones are dead, their radios are useless, and they're surrounded by darkness, mirrors disappear. They're not just tools, they're lifelines. And no one's going to share theirs when the chips are down. So, let me ask you, do you have a mirror in your kit? Or are you planning to rely on luck when you need to signal, see, or survive? Because in the silence of collapse, the flash of a mirror might be the only proof you're still out there. 6. Pocket notepad and pencil, the low-tech brain you'll desperately need. When the grid goes down, the silence isn't just eerie, it's deceptive. It's not just the lights, the internet, or the noise of modern life that vanish. It's your ability to remember, to plan, to coordinate. In a world where we've outsourced half our thinking to devices, you don't realize how much you rely on them until they're gone. Phones die, apps crash, and your digital notes? They disappear into the void. That's when a simple, unassuming tool, a pocket notepad and pencil, becomes your lifeline. It's not flashy. It's not expensive. But it's the one thing that will keep your mind sharp when stress, hunger, and exhaustion start to cloud your judgment. Let's face it, chaos erases clarity. You'll be juggling supply counts, barter agreements, water rotation schedules, wound care instructions, and the names of people in your group. And when your brain is fried, you won't remember half of it. That's where this little combo steps in. It doesn't crash, it doesn't need charging, and it doesn't break when you drop it. It's just paper and graphite, pure, reliable utility. A pocket notepad isn't just for jotting down random thoughts. It's your strategy locked in ink. You can sketch layouts of shelters, write emergency instructions, leave messages for your group, or record critical details like trade agreements or safe routes. Need someone to grab specific meds from a ruined pharmacy? Hand them a list. Need to warn the next traveler about a dangerous area? Scribble, tear, and leave it behind. It's that simple. I keep mine weatherproof and spiral-bound, paired with a stubby mechanical pencil clipped to the top. I've used it to log fuel usage during drills, map out water sources, and even create symbols for silent communication in blackout zones. Sometimes, survival isn't about shouting orders. It's about a note slipped under a door, a checklist taped to a wall, or a coded message left on a windshield. And only those who prepared for low-tech communication will have the upper hand. Here's the kicker. This little tool becomes barter gold when people realize they can't track anything anymore. After the third blackout wipes their phone for good, they'll trade gear just to get a scrap of order back. A clean notepad and a sharp pencil? That's authority in your pocket. It's not glamorous, it's not tactical, but it's essential. So let me ask you, when the power's out, your phone's dead, and your memory's failing, will you still have a plan? Or will you be the one who forgot to write it down? 7. Safety pins, the tiny tools that hold it all together. They're small, cheap, and so overlooked that most people don't even think to pack them. But when the world falls apart, safety pins become the unsung heroes of survival. These tiny pieces of metal aren't just for holding clothes together, they're problem solvers in your pocket. And trust me, when the shelves are cleared and panic sets in, you won't find a single one left. Let's start with the basics. Clothing. Your jacket rips, your gear strap snaps, or your pants tear while climbing over a fence. You think duct tape will hold under pressure? Think again. A safety pin locks fabric in place, even when you're soaked, moving, or under stress. It's been field tested in military operations, wilderness survival, and rescue missions. One pin can keep your setup functional when everything else fails. But that's just scratching the surface. Safety pins are first aid tools in disguise. Got a deep splinter or need to drain a blister? Sterilize a pin and get to work. Need to secure a gauze pad when you're out of medical tape? Pin it. Need to attach a bandage to your sleeve or backpack for quick access? Pin it. These little tools weigh nothing but act like steel reinforcements when you need them most. I carry 3 sizes in my kit. Small for quick fixes, medium for clothing, and large for gear repairs. I've seen them used in ways you wouldn't believe. During one field test, a guy rigged a makeshift sling for a dislocated shoulder using just 2 pins and a strip of fabric. Another time, I used one to unjam a stubborn zipper when everything else failed. This isn't about sewing, it's about control under pressure. When the world tears itself apart, safety pins are the tiny tools that keep you stitched together. And their uses don't stop there. You can hang gear inside a shelter, secure a mosquito net, or even rig a perimeter trip alarm with some string and a pin. They're not just metallic, they're silent leverage. And here's the thing, they vanish fast. No one thinks about them until they're gone. Stores don't restock them quickly, and even bulk packs get snatched up by smart preppers early on. Safety pins are also incredible barter items. Imagine someone rips their pack during a supply run. You hand them a few pins and suddenly you're more valuable than the medic. These tiny tools carry weight far beyond their size. So let me ask you, do you have safety pins in your kit? Or are you banking on gear that never breaks? Because in a real collapse, it's not the big flashy tools that save you. It's the little things holding it all together. And when the world's pretending everything's fine, these are the items that vanish first. Conclusion? The quiet disappearance of survival essentials. When the world starts to unravel, it doesn't happen with a bang. It happens in silence. The shelves don't empty in a frenzy, they're cleared out while you're still asleep, one item at a time. And by the time you wake up, the essentials you didn't think twice about are already gone. The flashy viral gear might still be there, but the real tools, the ones that actually keep you alive, vanish before most people even realize they need them. The 7 items we've covered aren't glamorous. They're not the kind of things that make headlines or get featured in survival gear ads, but they're the backbone of preparedness. A Prybar to break through barriers. Bar soap to keep disease at bay. Pain relief creams to keep you moving. A whistle to cut through chaos. A compact mirror to signal and see. A pocket notepad and pencil to keep your mind sharp. And safety pins to hold it all together. These are the tools that turn panic into control, chaos into strategy, and survival into reality. Here's the truth. When a real crisis hits, it's not the big obvious things that save you. It's the small overlooked essentials that give you the edge. The things that seem mundane today but become priceless when the lights go out and the systems fail. And the worst part? They're the first to disappear. So ask yourself, are you ready? Do you have these items in your kit? Or are you hoping to grab them when the shelves are already bare? Because when the world goes quiet and the chaos creeps in, it's not the people with the biggest gear who survive, it's the ones who thought ahead. Don't wake up too